Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of Ford versus Ferrari, and I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a really kind of fun film with great performances by Christian Bale and Matt Damon to make kind of a really great kind of would I call it a biopic? I mean, a film just based on a true story, really, for the most part, And it was kind of great to kind of like dive into like the racing world because I haven't really seen a lot of racing car movies, you know. So that was kind of cool to kind of add on that. And I didn't see that coming. That that Ken was going to die. Well, I did because my brother, spoiled it for me ahead of time. But surprised that kind of happened. But also surprised that he got disqualified and. They kind of going into like the evilness of different corporations, because it was like Ford, we're supposed to be rooting for Ford, but they make it in such a way where even within this company that we're supposed to root for, bad stuff can happen within that, and you see ultimately them trick Ken into making all the Fords finish at the same time, only for one Ford to speed up and get the first place. It's this type of stuff that makes this film unique, where it's like it's not gonna play it safe. It's not gonna play it simple. It's going to do crazy stuff, and I enjoy like the relationship between um the what's his face, Shelby, and Ken. Kind of really I forgot Ken's last name, and I forgot Shelby's first name. But yeah, their relationship, again, like I said, the performances in this film were top notch. And honestly, there was actually a lot of good comedic moments too, and exploring. I think like the 1950s, I believe this film took place. But yeah, again, exploring the different characters, exploring their role in all of this, events, and establishing their rocky relationship with Ferrari, and how their kind of feuds started because of because again, in that kind of realm of making money, what all companies want, what a big seller point than the winner of the most recent 24-hour Le Mans, race. And that was pretty crazy. And I think like giving Ken the son, motivation factor, and Shelby with his pains from his racing days, and kind of really exploring the characters as well as that feud between, again, Ford versus Ferrari. And I love the scene where like God, I forgot his name, where the Punisher, damn it, where John freak, whatever, where he was telling the head of Ford, Henry Ford the second, about how the head of Ferrari thought he was fat. It's these tiny kinds of comedic sprinkles that add it to it, where it's like this film kind of in many ways has everything you want. It has the surprises. It has the great performances. By Christian Bale and by Matt Damon, but it also can have just great story to it on top of the great acting, and all of that, and the story and comedic timing and timing and surprises. Again with Ken's car blowing up, and you know him actually not winning the race and trying just so Henry Ford can get a photo, when really the main motivation was they just didn't want Ken to win, you know, so that he can be proven wrong, and that type of stuff, and so that Shelby can be proven wrong, because early in the film Shelby told Henry Ford the second, or yeah, Henry Ford the second, that if Ken won the the uh, the 24-hour race of Le Mans, then Ken could continue to be the driver. So kind of that type of stuff, the kind of bad sense of commercials, or not commercials, the bad sense of business, and how businesses can really be corrupt at times. And then on top of that, to kind of add on to that, some of the stuff with some stuff with the action as far as the racing. The racing was cool, where it's like the way James Mangold decides to kind of shoot this, where he doesn't do a lot of kind of wide shots of the cars. He does it like POV of inside the car. So I feel like I love kind of like because it gets you to feel like you're in the car, and they'll do close ups of Ken's face. They'll do close ups of him doing the metal, and putting this the brakes and also his face. Because I think what also does a lot is the car acting, not the acting in the car, but Christian's acting in the car. I think that was kind of crazy, especially when he died. You could see the sweat pouring down his face, and it's just sad facial expressions. On top of, again, once in a while they'll do the great wide shots, and I love the shot where it's like there's like a part of the race where it's just straight down, like almost like to the back of the race, where it's just like straight, and they zoom out and makes it feel like it's going almost like in a backwards effect. And then, of course, like the tension of having, again, Ford versus Ferrari within the race. And coming to that shocking reveal of, okay, Ken's going to do the noble thing of coming back and waiting so that all four Ford cars can line up, only for one to speed up and take the first place. And you genuinely, because you've grown through this character of Ken Miles, I finally remembered it, Ken Miles, you feel bad for him, and I think that was great. On top of the great chemistry of Ken Miles and Shelby. I can't remember the Carroll Shelby. Again, because of the great relationship and the chemistry of Carroll Shelby, obviously as Matt Damon and Christian Bale as what's his face? Now I forgot again. Ken Miles. That was what elevated it. For me, honestly, kind of having the great overall overlapping relationship of those chemistries, the chemistry of the two of them, and then also Ken and his wife and his son were great relationships, and the comedy worked. I think I love like the beginning where they were kind of like the person who has the idea to kind of go in the racing business kind of meets with the Ferrari head, and they kind of talk and have their kind of little powwow of sorts, and having the guy who was kind of corrupt within Ford, the blonde guy, I forgot. But yeah, I just think overall it's a really solid film. Really, really, really enjoyed it. I think I was really pleasantly surprised with how great everything was. Like, I knew, like, obviously the performances were probably going to be great, but everything else was like, okay, it's just going to be a great performance, well, of our characters. And I think, a great performance by actors. It's not, I wouldn't say necessarily makes a film great. It helps a film. But at the same time, I think films with bad performances but have great stories, I can live with. And so I think going into this, I was like, okay, it could be really good. But then they surprised me with its great tension, again, beyond just the performances, the great characters, the great story, and again, comedic, timing, and great jokes thrown in there once in there, and great, casting, beyond just Shelby and Ken, the wife and the kid, and the Henry Ford II, and once again, like, seeing the Punisher, in something else. So, yeah, really enjoyed this film. Stay tuned for more videos coming at you.